Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you for subscribing. Yes, thank you for subscribing. Okay guys, let's talk about Carlos Mencia. I know, right? You're like, whoa, that's a blast from the past. I thought we should talk about this, you guys. It's very interesting. So, do you think Carlos Mencia was canceled before cancel culture was a thing? Because that's what he keeps saying, right? So I was doing some research and I'm like, okay, because I almost forgot why he was canceled, like why he wasn't relevant, like what happened to his career. So what happened to Carlos Mencia, and what can he do to just repair things, right? Well, if you don't know, Carlos Mencia has been accused for a long time, really since the beginning of his career in the 90s, from thieving, otherwise known as stealing jokes from other comedians. Now, comedians who are alive and comedians who have passed. He's been stealing their jokes, allegedly. And he's known in the industry, in the comedy industry, for just stealing a lot of people's jokes and routines and stand-ups and, yeah. And it finally, it finally came to a head, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But he was also accused of bumping comedians, and that means that, like, when you're a bigger comedian, you go on stage and you go ahead of the smaller comedians and you take up the whole night and they don't have any time for themselves. And people have been really angry about this. And people have come out and they've called them out on this. And one day, Joe Rogan, this is before he became mainstream with the podcast, he confronted him on stage at the Comedy Store in LA in 2007. And then there was a confrontation. The crowd turned on Carlos, and Carlos had this nasty attitude towards Joe. And then Carlos, that's kind of where the beginning of the downfall started, really, for Carlos Mencia. So in recent podcasts in the past 10 years, Carlos has played the victim, talked about how, woe is me, I've lost all this money, I was canceled before cancel culture was even a thing, all this stuff like that. And he refuses to apologize. He acknowledges that if he apologizes for everything, then this would all go away. But he refuses to apologize. So why do you think Carlos Mencia refuses to apologize? Some people call him a sociopath. Some people call him a narcissist. Allegedly, some people say he has a huge ego. In my opinion, I think he is a narcissist for sure. Has a huge ego. It's a real shame because The Mind of Mencia on Comedy Central was an amazing show. And it's sad that and everything else that he built is over. Can he get his career back at this point? I don't think so. I think his ego has made sure that his career will stay forgotten. Somebody made a comment that I read recently saying he wasn't canceled, he was forgotten. And that's a really good, yeah, I like that. Maybe he wasn't canceled, he was just slowly forgotten because of his nasty attitude, the way he treated his peers and his past friends. So what do you think about Carlos Mencia? Were you a fan of him? Are you still a fan? Do you think if he apologized for allegedly stealing jokes and bumping comedians and his attitude, and recently there are clips of him in podcasts making really, really bad analogies, which I'm not going to talk about on this video, but about sensitive subjects, making the situation worse, basically. Do you think there's anything he can do at this point, Carlos, to mend his career and turn the public favor into good instead of being bad? Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time. Bye, guys.